So unless you've been living under a literal rock, you'll know that the streaming wars have been going insane. We've got so many different streaming websites, and all of them are trying to gobble up as much IP as literally possible. So when you want to watch anything, you need to know exactly where to go to watch it, and it can be a real pain to know what's where and what's what. And the anime industry is also having its own little war. So usually if you want to watch anime, you got like two choices: Crunchyroll and HIDIVE. Crunchyroll's been the leading competitor. They've been basically buying up everything anime related. It kind of feels like what they want is to have a monopoly on everything anime. A lot of these other websites, they've been dipping their toes into the anime scene, but their sites aren't exactly centered around anime. And an issue that can cause is, for one, anime sort of operates differently. A lot of it releases very seasonally, for one, so every single season you have new releases, and then you can either choose to watch them dubbed or subbed. So a lot of the times it's like getting the same show released twice, so being able to have the ease of access to switch between those is kind of a necessity when you want to watch anime. It can kind of be a pain in the ass, but you sort of need it. And then getting back onto the topic of Crunchyroll basically buying out everything, an issue that this causes is a lot of people complain about censorship. When they own basically all of it and they're the main source for where you're going for all of your anime, they pretty much get to choose what you're seeing and how you're seeing it. And we've had issues with this before where they've been censoring things. And on one hand, I get it. It's all about corporate brand and they want to be as profitable as possible, and it makes sense, I'm not arguing with it. But on the other hand, it's like you need competition. And right now, the other competition that we have for a anime-centered streaming website is HIDIVE. The issue with HIDIVE, however, is that their website just kinda sucked. Like, it just wasn't very good. They also don't have nearly as much as Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll has so many shows that you can watch. HIDIVE, however, they've been getting some pretty good exclusives. I know most recently they've had Oshi no Ko, they also have Ragna Crimson, which has been doing pretty well. Eminence in Shadow was really good, I really enjoyed that a lot. And they've got like a few other really good exclusives. And the reason why I'm talking about all this today is because they just did a total overhaul of their entire website from the top down, and it looks really good. And I'm wondering if, Crunchyroll's got a little bit of competition ahead of them now. They've been top dog for a little while now, and I think HIDIVE's kind of taking themselves seriously. So for today's video, I'm just going to be going through the website. This isn't really planned at all. I don't really know exactly how I'm going to be saying things, but I'm just going to be scrolling through the website, just noting things that have changed, and maybe some features that I would like to see in the future. So immediately once you log into HIDIVE, here is their front page. You have these three things at the top that you can click on, and then as you scroll through, you'll notice that this cosmetically looks a lot more similar to streaming websites that you see today. We've got some flipping images at the top, a continue watching section, then we've got different categories here, such as trending now, recently added, simulcasts, their exclusives, which I just talked about, dubs, which again, this is a pretty big thing where you need to be able to know which shows are released in dubs and which shows are released in subtitles. We've also got some movies, and then we get into some more different kinds of categories. So here we have Comedy Club, Romances in the Air, Aesthetically Pleasing Anime, and in looking at these, I wonder if these are catered to your watching history, or if these are the same for everyone. So if you see something different on yours, feel free to let me know. And then when we scroll back up to the top and we go to browse, we have anime for everyone. Cool. We have these nice little animations here as you hover above these different clickable options. And it looks like these are just different genres that you can click on. You can scroll through these as well. It's not really a whole lot, but I think that this definitely looks a lot better from what they had before, and it seems pretty simple to find things. I think this whole coming soon feature is kind of interesting too, in that it doesn't seem as useful as I would like it to. So here you can go week to week, you can see what's going to be releasing within each week. And it just shows you the shows that are going to be updated on what season, it seems like, but not a whole lot beyond that. And as you start to go forward in different weeks, it just sort of fizzles out. I don't know if it's because maybe this is getting into a new season, or if the forecast, they just don't know what's going to be releasing at that point. So from here, I would say if you don't use AniList, I would heavily recommend that. So like I was talking about before, we have so many different shows that release seasonally, and I feel like we have the most that we've ever had before. So knowing what to watch where can be kind of a hassle unless like you have like an Excel file yourself or something. Or you can just use this website. They have literally everything, things that are going to be released, anything coming out soon. It's all right on here. And when you set up a profile, you can set things to your watching list, and it'll tell you when certain shows are updating, when they're updating. You can update it to see which episodes you've watched, how many you have to catch up on. And when you click into a show and scroll down, it'll tell you which streaming sites that they're listed on. And I find that very useful. And it's not just for anime either. This is a site used for manga, and it also has a social aspect as well. So I wasn't going to talk too much about this, I just thought that would be nice to highlight because there really isn't a very easy way to know what's going to be releasing when and where to watch it. So if I were you, I would be using that as a companion website. I know I didn't know about it for the longest time, and when I learned about it, it was pretty game-changing. So moving forward here, you can create lists as you scroll through here. I'm not sure if these put the newest updated shows at the top. I'll have to see that as things start to update. But you can create lists, you can rename them, add shows, remove shows. I don't think that there's an amount of lists that you can create on here, but it seems like you can create as many as you want. So as we click into a show here, you get the title right at the top with some imagery. It's kind of nice that it tells you which audios are available. So here we have both the Japanese and the English dub. They also tell you which subtitles it releases in, and then it goes into some genre information, release date, so on and so forth. You get a quick little synopsis. From here you can also add it to a watch list very quickly. Start watching, you can switch between the different seasons. I assume also if there are movies available, you can switch between those here as well. And as you hover across each episode, you can see different synopses. You can see a different synopsis for each episode. One thing that I really am not seeing on here though is that there's no rating system, so you can't rate a show 1 through 5 stars, or 1 out of 10, or upvote, downvote. Doesn't really seem like there's any way to modify that on here, and there are no comments, no reviews on here. It seems like they're centered solely around just the streaming aspect, so there's no social aspect on this, which is a little bit disappointing to me because I'm a big YouTube guy. And as soon as I'm done watching the video, I'm always going straight to the comments to see what's going on in there. And I think Crunchyroll has like a pretty interesting way of doing it in the sense that you can leave comments, but you can't have people reply to your comments. Or people can reply to the comments, but you don't really get notified about it. Which I think is kind of nice because a lot of people are pretty intense in these comment sections. People tend to get like a little weird, but it's still fun though, so I kind of wish that they had it. So when you click into an episode, you can choose to resume if you've already watched something, which is kind of nice. It gives you a quick little timer there. As your mouse stays static, you see these little pieces of imagery will be removed from the scene. You also get an up next, and it shows you the next 3 episodes. You can scroll between that if you want to skip ahead. Down in the bottom left area, you can also skip to the next episode, and if you are on something that has a previous episode, you get that option as well. I think it's nice how big the timer is so you can see how much time is left in an episode, instead of just relying on the scroll wheel here. Within the settings, the ease of access on here to switch between languages, between subtitles, turning autoplay on and off is really nice. And then I also think it's kind of funny that if you want to watch in 3 times speed, you have that as an option as well. I guess if you don't have much time on your hand and you want to watch it super quick, you can do that if you want. So, I have something weird going on with my screen right now in that it's not letting me capture video. I think I have to turn some kind of setting off. But just showcasing how the subtitles look, you can see that it's very big and in very bright yellow. There are some websites, again, that aren't centered around anime that are a little bit lackluster with how they present their subtitles. Sometimes they're kind of small, sometimes they're not really... Sometimes it's not really laid out in a way that's easy to read. I know for some people that have like visual problems, that can be kind of annoying. So it's nice to see here that that is very front and center, and it seemed like something that they had a focus on. And then the last thing that I really wanted to touch on here is the pricing. So when it comes to streaming websites, again, I feel like we're living in cable TV 2.0, where every single cable station now just has their own streaming site where they just put all of their shows on exclusively. So if you want to watch it, now you have to pay per month to watch it instead of just paying per month to have a package full of everything, which is really frustrating and annoying. I remember back in the day we used to just have Netflix and it was great. And if I wanted to watch anime, full disclosure, I would just pirate it. Kiss Anime was the perfect website. It had everything, all the anime you wanted. It was free because you're basically stealing it, but the UI on the website was so well done. It was great. But I also do want to support the industry, so, like, I'm buying the sites, okay? And when you look at HIDIVE's options, you get a monthly option and a yearly option. For the monthly option, it looks like it's $4.99 per month, and for the yearly option, it is $47.99 a month, which is a little bit cheaper. You also get a 7-day free trial, and both of them come with the same features, with the $47.99 yearly package saving 20%, but on both of them you get new series from Japan's latest broadcast season, you get streaming exclusives, simulcasts, dubs, and more. They both include access to the entire HIDIVE library, which, to be honest, isn't like as much as Crunchyroll, but they still got some pretty good shows on there. And you also know that they're not going to have quite as much censorship as Crunchyroll, which is nice. And then the last thing they have is also offline viewing. So if that's your thing, then get that as an option. Otherwise, that's just about it for this. It's about all I really wanted to touch on. Just kind of wanted to look through the website. I guess maybe this is more of like an entry level for people that maybe saw the website before and decided not to get it and didn't know that it had these updates. Or maybe you're aware of it, but just didn't see that they had updates, and maybe this is news to you. I thought that it was kind of cool. It looks like Crunchyroll might have some like pretty decent competition, but let me know what you think. So that'll pretty much do it for this one. If you like the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And tell me what you're watching. What kind of shows are you interested in right now? Alright, see ya!